Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots Radio show. Johnny is still at home doing the show. He'll be going back in a few days to take some more supplies down to the border. I will now turn the mic over to Johnny. So here's Johnny.
Thank you, Pete, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the United Constitutional Patriots Radio show. I am not on the border right now. I am back at our headquarters. And since I left the border a couple days ago, there's some things have changed. But first, I want to say hi to my friends out there. I say hi to Mary and TJ and Warren, and they got their T-shirts. I want to say hi to Mike. I want to say hi to, basically all of our followers. David Miller down on the border. And we're still catching people coming across the border, but to surprise you to know that we are actually getting some help from Mexico now. She-Wolf can give you an update on it a little bit later, but I will say this. Last night, some buses came in on the border. The Mexican police and federales turned them around, would not let them come into the United States of America. And also the immigration picked up 200 and some others. They can give you a report on that. And they are deporting them back to Mexico. There's a lot going on the border. But I want to say thank you especially for the donations that have come in this week. We are always in need of donations, and they are helping like you wouldn't believe. We were right down to nothing, but we've got some great people that have been donating. I want to say hello to one of our supporters in El Paso, who's Jose Cruz. He is taking some supplies up to the men that are in the field. Friday, him and his children were sick. But hopefully, if he's feeling better, he will be taking supplies up to the men on the base. And I appreciate it, Jose. Thank you so very much, and I enjoyed talking to you on the phone. You're a great supporter and great American. We did get some recognition. We are the only border ops right now on the border that is actually being recognized for what we are doing. And President Trump today in his speech said a thank you to not just the Border Patrol and the ones that we are assisting and helping, but he also said thank you to us patriots that are on the border. And I want to thank the president for that because he gave us national recognition when he did it. It goes to show what we are doing is making a difference, folks. The men woke up this morning. There was several illegals that actually come into camp and sit down by the tents, I guess, to turn themselves into our men. I'm not sure exactly how that works out, but She-Wolf can fill you in on that a little later. However, I do want to thank you for your donations, and I am praying that you folks can keep helping us because we need all the help we can get. Between the border wall between New Mexico and the New Mexico border at the end of the border wall and down to the El Paso border wall, there's a several mile stretch there. Once they get that plugged, once the wall is there, then we will be able to move over to a different area on the New Mexico border. But until it's done, we're there to stay. We're there to protect the Constitution, the rights of the American people, and try to protect our people from this invasion. And hopefully continue saving these children that are being child trafficked that we've caught so many of that had none but a phone number on them and were unaccompanied except by some adults that were bringing them over to sell them for whatever, whether it was sex or to the people that are killing these children and using their body parts for monetary value. So with that, I'm going to turn this over because we do have a video we want to show from a friend of mine, boots on the ground in Mexico. We do have a video that we want to share with you folks. let you see for yourself what's going on. Now, we've heard, we haven't got confirmation. The Mexico now is stopping them from coming in on the southern border of Mexico, of Central America. Haven't seen no confirmation on it, but this is the word we have, and that there's a lot of infighting in Mexico between the Mexican people and these illegals coming in. Some of them are coming in from Africa, and there is fighting going on where they're concerned too. But you just remember this, where everything that is going on down there in Mexico, what's going on there, if we don't have them stopped from coming in here, is going to go on in America. And this is what we don't want. This is a free America. You are American citizens. You have constitutional rights. And these people coming in are not Americans. They are not legal, and they should not have the constitutional rights that the American people have. They are here to invade us, not to help us. But with that, if Nuclear Warrior's ready, I'm going to turn this over to him because he has some stuff that he wants to do, and then we will go through, after he's done, we will have you watch this video if you don't mind. So, oh, by the way, we had ABC News come in the camp today, and it will be out of Austin, Texas, and they're going to show their interview with Jim, our public relations coordinator. We'll show his interview with them on the border tonight at 9 o'clock, and I don't remember which channel it is. She will, for somebody can tell you which channel it is and all that. But anyway, with that, I'm going to turn you over to Nuclear Warrior.
Thank you, Commander. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots, and it's my great pleasure to say thank you to Mary Ann for her most generous donation earlier this evening, and it is very much appreciated if she's listening. I believe that the network is CBS for that interview that the commander just mentioned. I'm not sure what channel here in the Central Texas area. I believe Channel 5, but I'll let She-Wolf elaborate on that here in a bit when I turn it over to her. I've got some news for you tonight on the the global currency reset and the revaluation. 1st of April, the quantum financial system started up to full mode in Hong Kong, and some of the U.S. began receiving RV packages. Rumors were that the CMKX payments started the next day on the 2nd of April, and a number of people were getting calls to make appointments for Wednesday today to start doing the exchange. The new rate for the Iraqi dinar is expected to be published today, and I haven't found out what the exchange rate is stated on that. I haven't had a chance to research that far. Also, today was the day that the president had planned to release the unredacted Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act warrants that jump-started the Russia probe, the FISA stuff. The Democrats have been screaming for the complete unredacted version of the FISA report, and I think he's going to give it to them, and they're not going to be happy with what they find in it. So when he gives it to them, it should be made available to the general public as well. Might have to search for it. But if we know about it at the same time that Congress knows about it, then they cannot try to bury any of the stuff that's going to be pointed directly at them for their involvement. And that FISA report that I mentioned, also known as the Mueller report. So you're going to get info on both. Okay, we were told that the ZIM holders would be given around 10 days to redeem before the April 12th deadline, when the gold-backed digital credits would become coming online, and ZIM redemption monies became backing for the global currency reset. That should start on the 12th, maybe a bit later, might be on the 13th, but the ZIM was the first one to be a GCR and RV compliant with the GESRA law. Let's see, the tribunals that began with 9/11 charges are ongoing, and the number of indictments filed expected to climb to over 90,000 filed by the 15th of April. So that's going to be interesting to keep watch on, and I'm going to post the website for this what's called the oh darn it, Operation Disclosure document that I'm getting this information from. This is done by a lady up in Canada. She narrates the whole thing, so you don't have to sit glued to your computer to get this info. She narrates all of the stuff that's inside the document, so that'll be very helpful. And I started to listen to it over dinner and got distracted by some other things. So, yep, exchange rate for the dinar, I think, was initially quoted at 3-1 against the U.S. dollar. But like I said, I haven't had a chance to really verify that. So, while I'm looking for more information here, that it looks to me like the holdout now is going to be with Venezuela and Iraq as far as being completely GESERA compliant. Iraq looks like it is, because the dinar is going to be rated here in a few days. Venezuela, I haven't had a chance to find out for sure if they're up to the standard to be compliant. But it looks like with the Brexit deal coming up here also on April the 12th, if they don't get, if May doesn't get her way with staying in the European Union, then that will sever all ties to the cabal's money, with the Bank of London being separated from the Bank of the Vatican and the International Monetary Fund. As you know, the Federal Reserve has already been separated and is no longer in existence. I heard earlier today that the U.S. Treasury notes, USTNs, are going to be available very soon also. So you might be getting appointments if you hold sums of cash in Federal Reserve notes to be able to go to your banking institution and exchange them for the gold-backed currency that is going to be the U.S. Treasury note. More on that as I find out more. That's the highlights for Operation Disclosure. I'll post the site here in the comment section of the live feed on YouTube. That way you'll be able to click the link and call that up and finish listening to it at your leisure. And we can get on with other matters at hand here in the live broadcast for the United Constitutional Patriots. With that, I'm going to hand this over to She-Wolf for her to elaborate a bit more on earlier thing that I mentioned. She-Wolf, are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay, first off, last night a lot of people were messaging me and saying, what's up with it's so quiet on the United Constitutional New Mexico Border Ops page? What's going on? Is everybody okay? And basically what had happened was when they got over to Monument 1, they did have a capture. They had to chase down people. They were hiding all over the place and going through the hills. I believe they got 7 in that apprehension. 2 of the women and 2 of the small children were hiding behind the manure spreader, and I guess they were up in poo. But anyway, they did apprehend them, and then what happened was the Mexican City Police, I guess, came and parked where the coyotes always drop them off, and they were able to turn around 7 busloads of people. That's 7 busloads that would have gotten into the United States had the Mexican police not been there to turn them around. So that's a real good thing. The guys woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. One of the guys woke up and he went out to, I guess, smoke a cigarette or something. He was wandering around, and there were 5 Guatemalans sitting right next to our tent, right in camp. And I guess they were just waiting to turn themselves over. So that's kind of interesting. But a lot of things happening down there. I've noticed that they don't have any live videos going right now. So I did just send him a message and ask him if he could, if the police are on the other side, if he could get video showing them turning the coyotes around with the buses of people. That way, we have that all documented and everything. So that'll be pretty neat to watch. Let's see. And tomorrow, the United Constitutional Patriots will be on, or I'm sorry, tonight at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 Central, 11 Eastern, will be on channel KENS, channel 5 out of Austin. Is it Austin? Austin? San Antonio, I'm sorry, out of San Antonio. That's tonight, and they will go ahead and have the interview of what happened and everything. So make sure to watch for that. If this link doesn't work, I will try to get the correct link and post it into our page so everybody can watch it. And that's all I have for right now.
Thank you, She-Wolf. So, things are looking up, folks. We are making a difference down there. And for a while there, we were getting really disgusted because we felt like we were walking up against a brick wall. But it looks like this catch and release is a turnaround now. So keep in your prayers. Hope this is what it is, because we're going to be there till that wall through that section is built. The Border Patrol has nothing but good things to say about us. They actually have praised our men for their assistance of what they're doing, helping and working with them. And they're very good men and women of the Border Patrol to work with. We have not had any incidents down there. The only incident that we had down there that actually worried us down there was we've got a road runner that hangs around camp, which is Camp Liberty, but we named him Liberty after our camp. He came up missing for a few days, and the day that I left to head back up here for some R&R and get some things straightened out and get some more supplies down to the men, I was with Jim, our person that does all of our videos, and I walked over by the pickup, and I heard something kind of gurgle at me. I looked in the bushes, and he was sitting there looking at me. And he come walking over, actually jumped in the tree, and got up above us and was sitting there, and he tries to talk to us, I think, but we were happy to see him because we'd been afraid coyote or something had got him, but that's the only thing we were worried about, only incident we were afraid might have happened. Now, what I wanted to say, folks, is we need donations. We've got to figure some way where we can get a couple of ATVs to help the men on their responses. And I don't know if anybody's willing to let someone use ATVs or could help us purchase some used ones, but it's something that is really needed on the border. Now, one of the things that you can donate through is our PayPal on our page. And I've been getting a lot of notices where people don't trust PayPal and they want to be able to send money directly to the United Constitutional Patriots through the post office. So if you let me give you the information real quick. If you want to donate funds to PayPal, all you got to do is Google the United Constitutional Patriots New Mexico Border Ops, and it's right there. You can also see all the videos of everything that we've done since we've been there, and we've made a big difference. Almost 4,000 people, just that the Patriots have been able to hold, catch and hold for the Border Patrol. If you want to make donations to the United Constitutional Patriots through the mail, you can go United Constitutional Patriots, care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, Cheney, at Post Office Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. If you want to be boots on the ground, which we badly need, call me at 505-334-2492. That's 505-334-2492. And if you have any other concerns or questions, just give me a call. I'll be happy to answer them. Mary Murray, I want to thank you too for being there. I don't know if I remembered you or not here. My mind's on a million things, but I want everybody to know that all these people that are helping us, they're doing it because they know what we're doing, and they know that every penny is going to the men on the border to help them with their gas, their propane, their food, gas for their vehicles that they're using for back and forth to different areas of the border that they're patrolling. And, you know, that's what it's used for. Not one penny goes into anybody's pocket. People have said a lot of stuff about it in the past, but, you know, I'm not even worried about it anymore because we're the ones down there. They're the ones talking. Now, one of the things that really means a lot to me is we got CJ and Warren down in Louisiana. Both of these friends of ours, and we love them to death. They need help themselves. They're an elderly couple. Both of them have serious health problems, and yet they always find time to call or contact us or just do little things that mean so much to all of us. And I want you to know, CJ and Warren, you are great people. I mean, between you, Mary Murray, Matthew Wall, Matt wants to be here so bad that it's killing him, but he's got responsibilities out in Oregon he can't just walk away from. And he's trying to get everything together so he can come on down too. We have a lot of people that are contacting us now that we've been vetting that are coming to the border to help us. Once we have enough people down there, then we can start spreading them out along the border and make even a bigger difference. Get them over in the Boot Hill area. We can stop. I really believe we can stop the drugs and the child trafficking almost in their tracks if we have the right amount of people with the right training. We're looking for veterans. We're looking for ex-police officers, people that are trained. We're also looking for medical staff. We're looking for civilians who want to come down and be willing to be trained and be willing to work with us and be willing to do their share of whatever they can do. And we have a lot of people wanting to do it. And we're vetting you as fast as we can. And we appreciate all of the volunteers and all of the help. So with that, I'm going to turn this over now to Pete to run this video. If you don't mind, can you take care of the video? Take care of it, Pete? The video that was sent to us that I showed you, we need to play it. So let me know when you're ready, would you?
Johnny, I will let you know when it's done. Don't call me, please.
Okay, I appreciate it. But you can let me know when he's ready. But in the meantime, folks, you know, there's a lot of these people who got into your communities who come across the border. They're not staying in El Paso. They're being shipped out, or they were being shipped out as fast as they come in at different points all over the United States. And you need to be concerned about your family and these people that are there because they're there. Okay.
This is Alex Backman bringing you a border news update with regard to the migrant caravans and what's happening at the U.S.-Mexico border right now. The situation is grave. President Donald J. Trump just issued an alert, okay? And he's threatening now to close the Mexico border. The U.S.-Mexico border at different points of entry, if the Mexican government does not comply, at least with stopping the illegal influx of people through the Mexican ports of entry, which mainly is Chiapas, but also, get this, they're flying in. Planes are full of immigrants flying in from Europe. Not me. The Mexican Ministry of Interior, Olga Sanchez Cordero, had a sit-down last Thursday with DHS Director Kristen Nielsen in Miami to discuss and share intelligence information with regard to what's happening with the immigration issue and how this conflict is escalating to a point where she mentioned on Mexican media that a mother of all caravans is forming in Honduras. Now, she clarified on Mexican media that this statement that she made, where she said that more than 20,000 immigrants are poised right now to enter through the Chiapas port of entry with Guatemala, is a real, clear, and present danger and threat to Mexico. She clarified this, and she also clarified that there is enough intelligence that she gathered on her own, just by scouring through social media, which we know a lot of social media is just trash and lies, and there's some pseudo news outlets out there inside, because you know citizen journalism is possible now today with the freedom of the internet, well, the limited freedom of the internet. But what gets me, and what's funny, I'm going to talk about this later, is that some people think that they just can go on Facebook and use people's name and good rapport and credibility just to gain some notoriety online. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute. So, what we have here is Olga Sanchez Cordero saying that it's the mother of all caravans, 20,000, that she saw with her own eyes, with her own two little beady eyes, that in effect, that these caravans are coming. Now, there's like a stream of an influx of immigrants since December. We mentioned it with the Human Rights Vice Director or Subdirector of Human Rights within the same Ministry of Interior's office, Alejandro Encinas, who's one of the intellectual leftist leaders of Mexico. He's like the Bernie Sanders of Mexico, mind you. And he also said in December that they were willing to take 10,000 per day in. In fact, he said that it's 10,000 that we're streaming in per day. So if you factor in 10,000 a day, that's 300,000 a month. Well, anyway, Olga Sanchez Cordero on Friday on Mexican media.
Live chat says they're hearing it fine.
Whoa. She said 100,000 per month are streaming into Mexico. Now, that's a huge number, America. Now think of this. As border residents, as people that we come and go freely across the U.S.-Mexico border, we pay our taxes, we purchase goods, we come to and fro, and we're part of a thriving economical community on both sides of the border, mind you. And for people just to enter illegally into Mexico, to threaten our jobs, threaten our security in this manner, and, mind you, the Mexican government making outlandish comments. Outlandish because she said 100,000 a month. Well, it's not outlandish. It's insane if you think of it. She said it's just an insane figure of people that are seeking to enter the United States via Mexico. So she recognizes the problem. This is what gets me. It says this is an alert, not only for the security of our neighboring country, you, America, but also for us here, because we have to come to terms and resolve our own crisis. Well, you know, maybe Mexico is getting a dose of its own medicine after flooding the United States for decades with illegal immigration. Anyway, that's just a personal comment of mine. And then she said that with the statements made by President Trump, remember on Twitter, he said that Mexico has one of the most stringent immigration laws out there, but does not apply it. They don't enforce immigration law in Mexico anymore because with the new government, they have this new policy of non-interventionism with everything and anyone. Oh, they're not going to make any comments about the narco dictator Nicolas Maduro killing his people and being guilty of genocide. Seeing he's a narco dictator, okay, that has to be put out of commission. Him and his whole entourage of criminals. But anyway, Mexico, remember, AMLO said, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, mind you, he said, no, we're not going to have any position against Nicolas Maduro and his regime. So, when you don't say anything, you're complicit. Okay, when you see a crime happening and you don't talk about it, you're complicit. So the Mexican socialist regime is complicit of saying we're not going to do anything to stop illegal immigration at our southern border in Chiapas. So we're not going to use the military. She said it on Friday. She shouted it at the media. No, that was on Thursday. I saw the video. I have the video. She shouted it. Okay? And she shouted to the reporters very strongly at an Episcopal National Council meeting, a Christian meeting, basically saying that this is really out of control, but they're not going to use the Mexican military to stop 20,000 at the border. So she said that this is not a problem only for the United States, but also for Mexico. And we want to achieve an ordered and compact and secure migration. Well, you know, that falls into the same territory as the United Nations. And we know that Mexico already is basically signing these treaties with the United Nations, which is obviously part of the Communist New World Order program. It's true. They want to usher in a one world order system, okay? Conspiracy theories aside, this is a very true focus and goal that they want to achieve. Anyway, she says that's why it's important to achieve an ordered and secure migration, not only for the United States, but also for our national security. Who's entering our southern border, she asks? And even more so, she says, there are nationalities that we've never had before, okay? She said that there are people coming into Mexico from the Congo, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, imagine, Iran, you know, Venezuela even, people leaving Venezuela. And then she said that, in fact, it's an enormous amount, and if you project this into December of this year, 2019, well, we think it's going to reach 1 million. Did you hear what I just said? 1 million. An influx of 1 million people into Mexico. Mexico can't even offer jobs. Crime rate, it's at its highest levels, even though that the populist promises of Andrés Manuel López Obrador saying that he was going to fix all the problems magically. Poof, they're all going to be gone, and all Mexicans were going to have peace and security, and now we see that it's the opposite. Now, Sanchez Cordero said that this just in, that Trump would do, he can do whatever he wants with his country. This is Olga Sanchez Cordero, and we will not stop the caravans. Can I have that, please, just for a moment? Can you give me the phone? Thank you. Right there. There. Pause it and read it. Please, read that. Okay? So basically, that's the defiant posture of the Mexican government, saying that we're not going to stop them. We're just going to let them flood into Mexico. And screw you, America. You see, this is the death by 1,000 cuts. We talked about this. Alexandra Robbins from Forbidden Knowledge talked about this. And I even wrote a piece on it in Spanish because CIA analysts have talked about this, that they want to bring death to America by 1,000 cuts. It's a Chinese ideology of, knifing a person little by little with little cuts, little incisions, until the moment that that person suffers the worst. That's what they want to do at a national level. They want to bring America down via this illegal immigration. And she said that they were going to give them jobs. Can you believe that? I heard that. Then she said there's people from India, Cameroon, Pakistan, Afghanistan, the Congo. Well, you know, Congo is a communist country. Cameroon, wow. Bangladesh, the Congo, and other countries from Asia, and Cuba. Lots of Cubans, she said. Well, that's the Cuban intelligence apparatus. They're coming in and streaming in through the caravan. And then you have the special interest aliens coming into the caravan, active cells operating within the caravan, and this is basically confirmed. We've already been talking about this for a long time, since the caravan started. So, and we were the first to ever mention George Soros. Remember that? Well, there you go. Now, she is blaming People Without Borders for the caravans. And she said this on the 1st of March. She said that the federal government of Mexico has identified the leaders of the organizations that are recruiting the people into the migrant caravans, which is very interesting. And among these groups is Pueblo Sin Fronteras, which belongs to George Soros and company. So there you go. So you see, isn't it funny that there's this like duplicity by Olga Sanchez Cordero? By one, she sits down with Kristen Nielsen, tries to fix this problem. Jared Kushner comes to have this little secret meeting a week and a half ago with Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, and offering money to stop the immigration, stemming it, they call it. And then we have her saying that they are willing to basically not stop the immigrants from entering using force by the state. You know what this is going to create? We have people being killed right now in different states in Mexico by people that came into Mexico through the caravans, criminal elements within the caravan. Then she said on radio, which is not written here, she said that organized crime is organizing the caravans themselves, that there are human trafficking elements within the caravan, is true, that they are also sexual predators are also purchasing children that are coming in through the caravan, so when they get to the United States, they give them through foundations and organizations that Obama, during his 8-year regime, helped foster these fake groups that would, basically what the U.S. government said is, remember the anchor, well, not the anchor babies, all the children that were coming in from Central America that they were looking for their parents in the United States, and they migrated on their own. You remember that? The huge fiasco that Obama and Hillary were busing them into the United States and planing them into the United States. And until the people of San Diego said, you stop this right now, we're not going to let them through, that's when it all stopped. But they were trickling them in from all nations. It was the last moments of the Obama regime, and he was like on steroids trying to bring them in. Do you remember that? And then when they would get through, they started a program because the U.S. Immigration Authority could not keep them in the United States under U.S. Custody. So when these children, Central American children, many of them were sick, remember that? And started a series of outbreaks inside the United States, these weird respiratory diseases. A lot of kids are dying because of it, teenagers, etc. And we know that these were diseases that were imported via these child caravans, or whoever financed the busing in, the flying in of these children to the southern border of the United States with Mexico. Now, once they got into the system, immigration authorities didn't have anywhere to house them. So what they did is they started a program of an adoption program where families would take them in. It turns out that many of these so-called families were not even families. They were front groups for human trafficking operations inside the United States. And that in itself speaks a lot about the Obama immigration policy. Anyway, thank God Obama is gone. Thank God Donald Trump is going against the deep state and all its cohorts. But anyway, until that gets resolved, Mexico has an issue that is not going to go away anytime soon. Olga Sanchez Cordero said, we're not going to stop them at the border. It's impossible. We're talking about 2 million people a year now, she says later on in the article, as a part of irregular, she calls it irregular immigration. Obviously, this is going to start to create issues that neither Mexico nor the United States wants, but you know, finally somebody spoke out about it, and that's Donald Trump. Remember why he won the presidency in the first place? It was all about immigration policy. It was about reforming immigration policy, which the Democrats that now control the lower chamber of Congress do not want to pass the laws that would stop and curb this once and for all. So now, all this is part of the New World Order agenda. They're even using Trump for the agenda. You see, there's something that's going to happen. By 2020, If Trump gets reelected, then the U.S. has 4 years more to stop the immigration problem at its doorstep. If not, if the Democrats win the 2020 race, then it's going to be open borders for everybody. And this is what they want. They said it in the first place, that they wanted to create a North American Union. You remember that? That they want to erase the borders between Canada, the United States, and the United States and Mexico to create an open border society, a George Soros-inspired New World Order, mind you. So, and socialist and communist in nature. So she said this, Olga Sanchez Cordero said this on Mexican media. We hope that we can make more or take more firmer decisions in the sense that the southern border of our country must have an ordered flow of migrants, We want a steady stream of millions a year to stream in regularly and orderly. So, and then she said that they're going to take away their humanitarian visas. She said that we're not going to give them any more humanitarian visas that the U.S. inspired in the first place for humanitarian purposes. So they would get shelter, they would get food, they would get, controversial vaccines, whatever you want, but they would get some form of help by international bodies, including the United Nations, in Honduras, that they're calling the mother of all caravans, and which would be made up of more than 20,000 people. Okay, she said that, and that means back. She has signals intelligence, she has human intelligence of these operations happening right now. And then she repeated the same thing, basically 900,000, by the end of the year it'll be 1 million, and so on. Just to give you some facts from Africa, just from Africa, she said, how many are streaming in from Africa now? She said, from Africa, here it is. This is according to the Mexican National Immigration Institute, the INAMI. They counted 7,506 Asians, 2,958 Africans, and a year before that, they had 5,000. So it's increasing year by year. People that are not from Central America, they're not from South America, now they're coming in from different continents. So now it's 5 continents. People, she said on radio, get this, they're flying in on airplanes from Europe. European airlines are flying in people into Mexico, and then they get off the airplane, they join the caravans, and they reach the border. Amazing, isn't it? Mexico is helping them. Now, Mexico is now basically complicit, okay, in using immigration as a weapon. It's like, the Palestinians using little children, inside United Nations schools over there in Gaza, or we see it also in Beirut, that they're using children. Hamas, Hezbollah, all these groups, they're using children as human shields. Here they're using children, they're using innocent people that are being, sucked into the caravan, militias. That's what they are. They're using humans to invade another country. And I've seen the pictures. I saw them with their flags of their nations coming into Mexico, wanting to get into the United States with their flag. Now, I don't know about you, but, if I go back to the Middle Ages, or if I go back, into human history, and whenever another country like the Roman Empire would attack, like Britain, they would bring in horses, or they would bring in whatever horsepower they could muster, and their soldiers, and they would carry their flags of their nation to invade another nation. Now, when I see people of Honduras crossing into the Mexican sovereign territory, which, by the way, has been erased by the new government because they just want to let them come in by the millions. And they're saying that they're going to give them now job permits to work temporarily in Mexico. Now, so anybody that enters your country with another flag, saying, we want to go to America. Yeah, they want to go to America, but why aren't they wearing the American flag? If they love America so much, why aren't they wearing the American flag? It's something that, doesn't click with me. And Leftist regimes have used immigration as a weapon to invade other countries. It's happened before. Back in the late 1800s, China tried to bring in thousands and tens of thousands of Chinese into Mexico. So yeah, they're fleeing poverty, they're fleeing dangers and everything. And yes, Mexico, what I don't get, if Mexico and Tijuana, mind you, recently was put in the pole position as number one city, the number one most dangerous city in the world, Tijuana, Baja California, the most dangerous one in the world. And the migrants are fleeing their nations because of crime and poverty. Why are they coming to Tijuana, the most dangerous city on earth? You know, something doesn't fly here. I think it's political. I think they're using them. All these poor people, they're using them to bring the United States down. It's a communist attack. They're attacking you. And yeah, does this justify border shutdown? Yes, but I would ask President Donald J. Trump, in all good conscience, sir, please don't shut down our border. We cross every day. We need it. You need it, and we need it. And what I proposed back in 1997 was to create a buffer zone between the United States and Mexico. A border buffer zone where true citizens of this great border could come in and go as we please freely, okay, without being checked and cross-checked through a port of entry, but only if we comply with certain requisites as border residents. I don't know, 25 years residency, a stable job, education. You know, what can we give to this border community to make us good, law-abiding citizens for you, America? You see, the moment that we shut down a border, we create a conflict. The conflict is already there, I know, but it could escalate, and that's what we don't want, because this could bring in an economical collapse, a detrimental economical blow to the head of all the businesses that need to operate thanks to U.S. product and manufacturing. What about all the manufacturing companies that are south of the border? What about Tijuana? What about Otay Mesa? We're talking about billions, if not trillions of dollars of manufacturing at risk here. So, you know, if you see it with vision and a bigger scope, you could see clearly that this will not end well if the U.S. border is shut down just because there's a national border crisis. There is a national border crisis, I agree. There is a national security threat to the United States. Mexico could be labeled a national security threat to the United States. Can you imagine that? That the U.S. uses that against Mexico and then starts boycotting Mexican products and doing things against Mexico. Mind you, NAFTA 2.0, the new United States Mexico-Canada trade agreement has not been ratified, okay, because of the border shutdown and everything that happened months ago. So there you go. That's some of the things that are happening now. Now there's this guy on Facebook who goes by the name Oscar El Blue, all right? He's in Tijuana, and he came out with some sort of story that there were some people arrested, persons of interest within the caravans, instigators, agent provocateurs, organizers, and then some people in the media that were or are being questioned by U.S. authorities, by Homeland Security, and he's putting this out there today, 1st of April 2019, like if it were big news. Was not big news. You know, the U.S. authorities see a clear and present danger, a national security threat with these caravans. I do too, you know? And he's like saying my name openly on his Facebook page. He said that I'm a person that has to be interviewed by U.S. authorities and everything, that I'm part of some sort of investigation by the U.S. authorities called San Diego Sector Foreign Operations Branch on the migrant caravan, a special dossier that U.S. authority has on what transpired during November and December when these caravans attacked the U.S. border, because that's what happened. And the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, CBP, protected America with non-lethal weapons, which was the only thing that they could do. Now that 13,000 immigrants just last week were in U.S. custody because they're entering daily at those levels, obviously the United States has to issue some form of alert. Now, with regard to these documents that they're saying that have been leaked, well, NBC News San Diego came out, Channel 10 San Diego came out and leaked the documents without showing the pictures or the names of the people that either had been deported or arrested, or persons of interest, or people that pose a danger to the United States, or people that needed to be questioned. Now remember, this information is not classified by the U.S. government. It was for official use only, and somebody leaked it to the media. Okay? Among the people there, I mentioned, and it is true, I have cooperated with U.S. authorities with regard to investigating the origin of the caravan. I have provided very valuable intelligence information to the U.S. authorities so they could hamper and stop the illegal invasion of the Mexican nation using the caravans, okay? And I have helped, okay, them tremendously with intelligence information so they could have a better assessment of what's really transpiring during December and November and January on this side of the border. So yeah, but I have not been arrested. I got to say that. I was not arrested. I was not interrogated against my will. I was never denied anything. I was not handcuffed. I was not mistreated in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they were very nice. And the sit-downs that we had were very, very productive. In fact, they haven't even called me again to help out with anything additional, because I think they are advancing well with their investigation with regard to who's who and what's what within the caravans. So to get to the bottom of all this, I would not even believe anything that people say on social media, especially Facebook, because they are fake news in the first place. So anybody that goes on Facebook and starts saying this and that, like if it were an exclusive. They asked this guy, Oscar El Blue, I saw the video today, he mentions my name and tries to mix me within the people, like if I were the guy arrested. He doesn't say it openly. He says, I know this journalist, Alex Bachman, he's done a great job, but I don't know why he would be like on this list. Like if I were a criminal of sorts, or if I had something that I did that helped promote these caravans, no. On the contrary, of course. But I didn't like the way his poor research and lack of ethical journalism bringing forth this document, but not saying where it's from, where he got the information from, and not mentioning that on May 7th, NBC News, San Diego, March 7th, this was already leaked by the local media in San Diego. So, government tracking journalists, it says, photos, you can research it. Leaked documents show government tracking journalists, immigration advocates, and also people within the caravan that are organizing it. So yeah, I've been investigated, but that doesn't mean I have committed any unlawful crimes. I haven't committed anything that might make the U.S. believe that I am a person of interest or somebody that is behind these illegal activities with regard to the caravan. In fact, I can say so much more, but, I'm restricted. I'm restricted not by them, by myself, because I have a self-measure of self-censorship. I know too much at this point, and I'm not going to blast it all out on the internet. But I do know a lot, and I know what's going on within, and I know the true agenda. But now that the Ministry of Interior, Olga Sanchez, came out on Mexican media after sitting down with DHS Secretary Nielsen, saying, you know what, we're not going to stop them. We're not going to use the military. And it's going to be $1 million a year. That sends a very, very bad message to the United States. So I would understand why they would want to shut down the border. Anyway, for me, that's enough for today. I just want to give you that quick update on the Caravan. And different news outlets covered it. Even in LA, they covered it. And that's basically it. And without further ado, I'll give you some quick headlines on the Caravan further on in the week. Okay, I'm going to still gather some information, so I'll keep you abreast with regard to what's going on from somewhere inside Mexican territory. This is Alex Bachman. Bye-bye. Okay.
Conciencia Radio TV. youtube.com/Conciencia Radio. Suscríbete, danos like y comparte. Es decir, hazlo viral.
Pete, stop the video.
Video's done.
Okay, thank you. So, folks, that's information from inside Mexico. Alex is a friend of mine. I've talked to him on the phone. He's been watching from inside Mexico, everything that's going on. And I haven't found any of his information to be wrong yet. But nobody's perfect. So, but his information he's getting, he backs up with his reports and stuff, which you've seen. However, I did see where She-Wolf posted that they have live video now of border or the police turning buses around at the border. Is that right, She-Wolf?
Yes, sir.
Was that from last night or today?
It's from right now. It was live video. He just posted it. He was showing the police, and I guess there was even federales over there, and they're blocking the road to where the buses and the coyotes cannot get through with people to drop them off.
Well, folks, this is good news, and you're here live for the first time from Boots on the Ground right there at the monument, right there outside of El Paso, Texas, right there, not far from where we're at the Napra border in Napra Sunland Park. So maybe things are turning around to where our boys can finally get a little bit of rest, even though I know they still have to keep their head on a swivel and patrol and stop the ones that are missed. However, I'm proud of the men. I'm sure all of our listeners are too, because they're out there to protect America. They're out there not just to protect America, but also to protect their constitutional rights. And we're out there to make a statement, prove what's going on that border, and get the videos and the information out to the American people, to Washington, D.C., which Washington is getting all of our videos. So we can make a difference to make America safer for the American family, to where we can get it back to where you don't have to sit and watch TV with a gun at your side, because it's that bad. Like I was saying before the video started, the ones that are here are going to fight to stay here. There's a lot of them that are committing crimes. A lot of them are criminals, and they don't care about the American people. They're here because they want to kill American people, and that's what's crazy about it. They don't want free America again. But you know what, folks? We're going to have free America. I know we're going to have free America. The American flag is not going to drop. We have our president. We have the American people. We, the people, are the government. And we need to make sure that we take back over control of the House of Senate and the House of Congress and everything else. Because we're the ones that put them there, and we're the only ones that can get them out of there. So let's band together, folks. Work together. Help us. all the way around. Watch your back. Watch what's in your backyard. When your kids see something that's not right, or they tell you something's going on in the school that's not right, act on it. Don't sit and wait and say, I can't do anything. Report it. Get it investigated. Make sure that your families are safe. Make sure that everything you do is for our American freedom and the futures of our children. It's also important. But you know what? Also teach them what it is to be a Christian, and the forgiveness, but is also not just to forgive, but also to walk in hand, united as Christians, as Americans, and also as people who care again about each other. You know, I remember driving down the road as a kid. If you see someone with a flat tire, you stopped and helped them. You know, now you'll see someone with a flat tire and you know, they're lucky if someone even stops. And even police officers see someone alongside the road with a flat tire and they don't stop. This doesn't make sense to me on that part. But I'll tell you, folks, if we reach out to each other, unite, gather, you know, we can make a difference in America and what's going on. And our men on the borders, I am very proud of what they're doing. I've been down there. I'm going back down on the 12th. I've seen what's going on down there. And hopefully when I get back down there, some of these men, they're making enough of a change now to where these men can get some rest and get some relief. Because when I go down, I'm taking some men with more men with me so they can get relief, go home, take care of their stuff. I mean, we've got men down there that gave their jobs up to protect America. And that's why I want to thank everybody again for the support that we are getting. And if you can donate, please donate. Again, to the United Constitutional Patriots. Just go to the United Constitutional Patriots Border Ops page. There's a PayPal account there. Donate what you can. If you can't donate, pray. Pray for the people. Pray for America. Pray for our president. If you want to make donations and you don't want to use PayPal, or if you want to send other things that can be used on the border, like dry good foods, pretty much anything used when you're camping. Binoculars are badly needed. We still need night vision for the men, because that's life-saving. But if you can help in this manner, you can ship this stuff to the United Constitutional Patriots, care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, at Post Office Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. If you want to be boots on the ground, which we need bad. If you're a veteran, if you took the oath, you want to join us, you're an ex-police officer, you took an oath as well as all of us did. The oath was never, ever discharged from any of us. Give me a call at 505-334-2492, and I'll do what I can to answer questions and maybe get you folks down on the border, because we do need the help. Sure, it looks like right now that the federales and everyone are doing what they're supposed to, but how long is that going to last? That's another question we got to ask. Do I trust Mexico? No. I've been down there. I've seen what they do. I've seen the crooked cops. I've seen the rape houses right across the border, where at nighttime the loud music starts. You hear children, women being raped. 2 hours later, they're running them across the border to us. You know, there's a whole lot wrong with this, folks, and it makes you stop and think. You know, we don't want this in America. And that's what's coming. If they come across that border, if we don't get these people out of here that have already come, we have a big problem in our own country. Let's resolve it. Let's do it as Americans. Let's do it as patriots. Let's do it united. United we stand. United we fall. So all I'm asking, if you can help, please do. With that, anybody else have anything they want to say?
Can you repeat the phone number again, please, slowly?
505-334-2492. If anybody has, anyone else on our team want to have anything they want to say?
Yeah, Commander, I just want to jump in here quickly and remind our listeners that in addition to our Facebook New Mexico Border Ops page, we've taken a secondary page in the event that Facebook gets taken offline or social media bites the dust with all of the stuff going on. It's on a MeWe site under groups. Look for United Constitutional Patriots there, and you'll find a lot of this stuff that's posted there as well.
Thank you, Nuclear Warrior. With that, anybody else have anything they want to add to the show tonight? Okay. Well, before I close the show, I'll have our preacher do our weekly well, it's not weekly because every time we're on the show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we always close with a prayer. And I want to thank everybody. My friends that are in here, there's so many of you now that I've been communicating with on the phone and on video chat and you name it. I really appreciate all of you. We all do, and we love you for what you do. Thank you for standing with United Constitutional Patriots because, you know, we're there for you. We're there not for the glory. We're there because we want to make a difference. We want to wake America up to what's really going on. And our great personal public relations coordinator, Jim Benvey. Jim walked into our camp thinking he was walking into a cartel camp. He didn't know who he was walking into and ended up joining us. And you see his videos. He's been a great help to all of us in getting the word out and the actual pictures of what's going on the borders, of the actual captures of what's going on. There's no other group out there. They're all doing selfies and taking pictures of clothes and stuff they find, but you never see them showing any captures they're doing. And these are the very people that are saying that we're fake. Well, if this is fake, folks, I really don't want to wake up to reality because this is dangerous, what we're doing. We're putting our lives on the line. We never know who's coming across that border. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your support and for your prayers. And that comes from all of us on the United Constitutional Patriots team, because we are a team. We stand together. We work together. These people put hours and hours and hours. I mean, from the time they get up, sometimes don't go to bed till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, researching everything, making sure you get the correct, true news. I don't think you've ever seen anything we put out that was fake or false or was not right on, because we do vet everything. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the president. I want to thank all the government agencies that also watch our show and get our information and respond on it. With that, go ahead, preacher, and I'll let you close out with prayer, and I'll close the show.
All right, sir, we will do that. And folks, as we go to this closing prayer, you have been given a lot of very important news tonight. Most of our team here has had some very important things to say to you, to fill you in on with regards to what's going on the border. And I just, as we go to this prayer, I just want to add one thing, and that is that not only are we in a battle for America, for our Constitution, for our very freedom, as well as, yes, our borders, on a physical plane, you need to remember always that we're also involved in a spiritual war as well, a war on a spiritual plane as well. And I probably at some point should do some talking on here on this subject and try to answer some questions and this, that, and the other. But we are involved in a spiritual war as well, and many times these things, these events that we see happening, what we see happening on the physical level, okay, like many of the things that the commander has talked about, that they've seen horrible things that they've seen down there at the border, horrible things that we see reported in the news every day around our country. Many of the things that, many, if not all, of the things that we see happening in our world on the physical plane can very often be mitigated on the spiritual plane through the prayers of God's people. Much can be done through the prayers of God's people. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and seek my face, repent of their sins, and pray, I will hear their prayers from heaven, and I will heal their land. Now, that's not a direct quote. That's paraphrased because I don't have the Bible open in front of me, but that's basically what it says. So much good can be done through the avenue of prayer. God answers the prayers of his people. So I want to remind everybody listening to our show tonight, those who listen to us on a regular basis, if you are a praying person, we ask you that you continue to keep this team right here that works so hard every day in your prayers. Keep those men that are standing guard on the border in your prayers. Keep this president and all those working together with him, and there are many more than you know, working together with him to the betterment of this country and to the defeat of the deep state. Keep them in your prayers. Keep our angel parents in your prayers, because they're fighting every day for justice for their children. We've got a pair of them right here in our midst working with this team that seem to have, more trouble than we can possibly explain to you, getting justice for their daughter and their grandson. And it's a crying shame when you've got I guess we could say a so-called police department that won't even let you file a police report. So, it's just plain flat wrong. But again, many of these things can be mitigated in the spiritual. Things we're seeing happen in the physical, they can be mitigated in the spiritual. And so we ask you all to keep these people in your prayers. And if you would bow with me right now, we'll go to that closing prayer. Lord Jesus, we come before you right now to thank you, Lord, once again for all, for this opportunity to come here and do this great show and this great work that you've given us to do. We're thankful, Lord, for the opportunity to serve our country, to serve our president, and most of all, to serve you in this great battle, to save this great nation, to restore this great nation, and to make her great again. And the battle we're involved in to protect our borders, to protect our rights, our freedom, our Constitution. We thank you for the opportunity that you've given us here at United Constitutional Patriots to serve and to do this show and get this information out to these great people that come here to listen to us each and every time. We're thankful for them and the work that they do. The work that they do to help support us in what we try to do. These folks bend over backwards, Lord, as you well know, to support what we're trying to do here, and we're so grateful for them. We're grateful for this president that we have now, because through him, through your anointed man to be the one you've anointed to be president, we now have the opportunity to take back and to restore what they've tried to take away from us. And we're grateful for that. We ask you, Lord, to continue your watch care over the men and women here at United Constitutional Patriots that do this work every day on top of the regular jobs that they do to make this operation a success. We thank you, Lord, for our great listeners. We ask you to bless them. We thank you, Lord, for the men who are standing watch on that border right now, watching over that and doing their operation to protect our borders. We ask you to protect them, but your blood be upon them, but your angels be encamped around about them, stand and watch over them. We ask you, Lord, to bless our president, to keep your hand upon him and all of those that are working together with him to the betterment of our country and the defeat of the deep state. We know he met with his military advisors earlier this evening. We don't know the content of that meeting, but we do know they met. We do know they've got plans for this great country. We ask the Lord to be with them, that they make the right decisions, and continue to let your blood of protection be upon them, but your angels be encamped around about them. Continue to thwart the plans and the schemes and the works of the wicked one against them and against us. And we ask you, Lord, that you continue with us now throughout this night and into the coming days. Continue to guide us, guard us, and direct us, and draw us ever closer to one another and ever closer to thee. For we do ask it all in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen and amen.
Amen. And thank you, Chuck. Mary, yes, I'm going to address this to you, Brenda. No, down on the border, we are not down there. We are not shooting or killing anybody. We are a humanitarian group. We don't even point our weapons at them. Usually they're peaceful. So, the bottom line is we carry weapons only for self-protection. We've never had to harm anybody. We did have an incident where the Border Patrol slammed and handcuffed a guy, and the people tried to walk through the Border Patrol and our men. It didn't work. They could have used excess force for fear of their life, but they didn't. They didn't even aim their weapons at them. But they finally complied, and they did what they were supposed to do, and it was handled peacefully. That's how we want to do it, is peacefully. We're not there to hurt anybody. We're there to stop them from, basically stop them from entering our country and bringing the disease and the fighting and the crime to our country. We have enough in our own country. So I hope that makes you feel better. Nobody is getting killed. No one's going to get killed. The only way that ever happens if we have total all-out war and they come at us first, we will protect ourselves. We have that right as Americans and as citizens of the United States of America to protect yourself and your families. Now, I want to say something that, and I don't know why through all the shows, I've never said it. You know, the Border Patrol down there, they're putting their lives on the line like everybody. And they do there's been several of them killed over the last couple of years. There's been incidents where they've had to take the lives of somebody who came at them with a weapon. However, that's very unusual when that happens. But I want to thank the Border Patrol, the ones we are working with down there. They are great people, and they're just as thankful that we're there that we are, because we're able to help make a difference because they're so short-handed. We all need help, folks down there. Like I've said, we need boots on the ground, people that's willing to help us make a difference, who can come down there and follow orders and do exactly, because we do what the Border Patrol asks us to do. That's what we're there for, is to assist the Border Patrol. And I want to thank them. I want to thank the law enforcement down there, and all law enforcement. The law enforcement down there they work with is really good. They have praised what we've done. I'm talking about the local law enforcement, from the sheriff's department to the city police departments, the Border Patrol. You know, I want to thank them, and I want you to keep them in your prayers, folks, because it's dangerous. It's a dangerous area for everybody down there. But also, I want to thank the military. I want to thank all the military and the veterans that have served. And I also want to thank President Trump for everything that he has done and that he is doing for America. With that, I am going to say one thing. We have a flag that's flying in America, the red, white, and blue. Hundreds of thousands of men have died to keep that flag flying. And that's the same with us. So with that, I want you to remember, you kneel for God, you stand for the flag. And I don't know how else I can put it, except for I want to thank you for being with us tonight. God bless you. God bless America. Keep all of us in your prayers, including President Trump and his family and everybody that is doing what they can to keep America free.
And poo-poo.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. That was that. I want to thank you all, and God bless you. God bless America. Good night. We'll talk to you again Friday. Have a great evening.
Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots Radio. Our next show will be on Friday at, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'd like to thank all you Patriots for tuning into the show, and God bless everybody and have a great night.